cost about $1,000 per shot, and they injected those 3 trees about 3 times each. So about $9,000 for 3 trees. This is another one on our right here. And then this on our left is one of our catalpa trees. And the catalpa tree is native to the southwestern United States where the catalpa fly live. It gets a really pretty white blossom on it around the end of springtime, but it produces a really rotten smell. It's meant to attract the fly so that it'll come and lay its eggs into the blossom. You'll see a lot of our birdhouses around. The strongest pesticide we use here is acetic acid, so vinegar. We try to encourage the birds and the bats to come and kind of act as a natural pest control. Get rid of all of our bugs for us. Have another Japanese cherry blossom we're passing here on our right. And then those 3 trees on our left there that are kind of forming a triangle, those are called Kentucky coffee trees. And you can make a form of synthetic coffee from them if you take the little pod that goes on them off in the fall and you roast the bean. But it used to be known as the poor man's coffee. It is very cheap, but if you don't roast it at the right temperature, it releases a neurotoxin and it becomes poisonous to you. So I wouldn't recommend that one. On our right there, that tree growing straight up, that one is called a column oak tree. And we also have a couple of our hedge maples on our right here. Those are the ones with the branches lower to the ground. And that one is a female, that one is a male, I've been told by the students, and the only difference is when they come into bloom. So the male will come into bloom a bit later in the fall, and this one will come into bloom around midsummer time. And supposedly if you plant the hedge maples very close to one another, they'll begin to intertwine their branches over the years and kind of form a natural fence. You'll see that a lot in Europe, but not too often around here. And then this tree on our left here is called a linden tree. And you may have heard of linden before. It's a very common ingredient in health food stores. You'll often find it in cough drops and cough syrup. You can also take the little blossom that grows on it off, and if you dry it out and put it into a tea, it's supposed to be very good for helping with anxiety, sleeplessness, and respiratory issues. One of our horses at the barn has something called Heaves, which is like the horse version of asthma. And he was on medication for it for about 10 years or so, but the vet said it was starting to affect his liver and his kidneys, and she recommended we put him on something a bit more natural. So for the past year, we've been mixing linden in with his food every morning, and he hasn't had one problem with his Heaves, and he's been off his medication. So it works for horses. I'm sure it works for people as well. And then this tree on our right here, again, it kind of looks like a little bush. This is called an ironwood tree. And the wood on that is so hard and so dense, if you try to cut it with a chainsaw, it'll spark the chainsaw. And then this tree on our right is pretty interesting as well. It's called a river birch tree. And those do very well in high pollution areas. So they'll absorb the pollution and toxin through their bark and then shed their bark out. So it's very good for the air. We have one of our white pines on our right there, and we have another one coming up on our left. And those have a very soft needle on them. A lot of the deer on the property like to sleep under them. And that needle used to be used to make a tea as well, back when scurvy was a big problem. I guess the needle is very high in vitamin C, so people would boil it into water, and it helps to get rid of scurvy. And then this tree on our right here is called the silver poplar tree. It's also referred to as the money tree. It looks like it has little silver dollars on it. And people usually guess that one to be about 100 years old because of its size, but it actually turned 18 this year. So it's very young. Silver poplars are very fast growing. They're considered invasive because of that.